Have you ever wondered how your favorite chocolate is made? That's right, we're talking about that silky, sweet delight that melts on your tongue, leaving a trail of joy and comfort in its wake. The allure of chocolate is truly universal, crossing borders, cultures, and age groups with its irresistible appeal. For many of us, chocolate is more than just a sweet treat. It's a moment of bliss in the middle of a hectic day, a comforting friend in times of stress, a celebration in every bite. It's the little luxury we allow ourselves, the guilty pleasure we can't resist. And yet, do we ever stop to ponder the journey this delightful indulgence takes to reach our taste buds? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the sweet enigma of chocolate. We're diving deep into the heart of the cocoa bean, the humble seed that gives birth to the magic of chocolate. From the tropical rainforests where the cocoa trees grow, to the hands of skilled chocolate makers who transform these seeds into the treat we adore, we're about to uncover the fascinating process of making chocolate. But this isn't just a tale of transformation. It's a story of passion, of craftsmanship, and of the delicate balance between nature and human ingenuity. It's a journey that spans continents and centuries, involving countless individuals who have dedicated their lives to perfecting the art of chocolate making. So, whether you're a dark chocolate devotee, a milk chocolate maven, or a white chocolate worshiper, this story is for you. Because behind every bite of your beloved chocolate, there's a world of wonder waiting to be discovered. And so we invite you, fellow chocolate admirers, to join us as we unravel the story of your favorite treat. From the cocoa bean to the chocolate bar, it's a journey filled with mystery, transformation, and a whole lot of sweetness. Prepare to embark on a sweet journey from the cocoa bean to the chocolate bar. Our chocolate journey begins with a humble fruit, the cocoa pod. Let's transport ourselves to the tropics, the only place on Earth where cocoa trees thrive. These trees grow within 20 degrees of the equator, in places where the climate is just right, warm, with plenty of rainfall and shaded sun. They flourish under the protective canopy of taller trees in countries like Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Indonesia, which are among the world's leading producers of cocoa. The cocoa tree, with its glossy leaves and small pink blossoms, is a sight to behold. But the star of the show is its fruit, the cocoa pod. These pods, which grow straight from the trunk, are quite the spectacle. They begin as tiny buds, growing over several months into hefty pods, each about the size of a small pineapple and boasting a vibrant array of colors, from green to yellow to deep reddish purple. When the pods reach peak ripeness, it's harvest time. Farmers skillfully slice the pods from the trees, taking care not to harm the delicate blossoms and buds that will produce future harvests. Once collected, the pods are cracked open, revealing a treasure trove of cocoa beans nestled within a sweet, sticky pulp. These aren't the chocolate brown beans you might be picturing, though. Fresh cocoa beans are a pale, purplish color and have a bitter taste. Each pod holds about 20 to 40 of these beans, which are scooped out by hand and set aside for the next step in the chocolate-making process. So, you might be wondering, how do these bitter beans become the chocolate we all know and love? Well, it's a long process, involving fermentation, drying, roasting, and more. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, we have our cocoa beans. But how do we turn them into chocolate? From bean to bar, the first transformation step is fermentation. This is where our humble cocoa beans begin their journey to becoming the delicious chocolate we all know and love. Fermentation, that's right. This isn't just a process for making your favorite sourdough bread or kombucha. It plays a vital role in chocolate making too. You see, after the beans are harvested, they're placed in shallow containers and covered with banana leaves. Here, they'll rest for about 5 to 7 days, depending on the type of bean. During this time, the sugars in the pulp surrounding the beans start to ferment, producing heat and alcohol. This fermentation process is key to developing the complex flavors in chocolate. Without it, we'd be left with a flat, uninteresting taste. Fermentation creates that delightful balance of sweet, bitter, and fruity notes, which make the chocolate dance on your tongue. But wait, there's more. After fermentation, the beans need to be dried. This is crucial to prevent mold growth and to reduce the moisture content, which would otherwise cause the beans to spoil. The beans are spread out in a single layer under the sun, and they'll bask there for about a week. This process of sun drying not only reduces the moisture, but also helps in mellowing down any residual acidity from fermentation. The beans are turned occasionally to ensure even drying and to prevent them from germinating. It's a careful process, and the beans are watched closely. Too much moisture and they could mold. Too little and they could become brittle and lose their flavor. Once the beans have been dried to the right level, they're sorted and packed into sacks, ready to be shipped off to chocolate makers around the world. So there you have it. Our beans are now fermented, dried, and ready for the next step. They've undergone a magical transformation, all thanks to the wonders of fermentation and drying. But their journey is far from over. We have many more exciting steps to explore, so stay tuned. Now it's time to add some heat to the mix with roasting. Roasting is a pivotal part of the chocolate-making process. It's the stage where the innate flavors hidden within the cocoa beans are coaxed out, transforming them into the chocolatey goodness we all know and love. Imagine the process akin to roasting coffee beans, where the essence of the bean is truly brought to life under the influence of heat. The cocoa beans are placed in a rotating oven and subjected to temperatures ranging from 250 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This roasting process, which lasts anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes, can drastically alter the final flavor of the chocolate. Roasting cocoa beans is an art form, a balancing act of sorts. Roast them for too long, and you risk burning the beans, resulting in a bitter taste. Roast them for too short a time, and the full flavor potential of the cocoa beans won't be achieved. It's a game of precision and patience, and the stakes are high. After all, we're talking about chocolate here. Once the cocoa beans have been roasted to perfection, it's time for the next step, cracking. The beans are placed in a machine that cracks open their shells, revealing the precious cocoa nibs inside. These nibs are the heart of the cocoa bean, the part that will eventually become chocolate. The cracked beans are then put through a process called winnowing, where a stream of air is used to separate the light, crispy shells from the heavier nibs. What's left are the pure, unadulterated cocoa nibs, ready to be ground down and transformed into delectable chocolate. So, we've successfully navigated the roasting and cracking stages, and we're one step closer to the end goal. We've got our nibs, but we're not quite at chocolate yet. The journey continues, and trust me, it only gets more exciting from here. Stay tuned as we delve further into the magical world of chocolate making. Welcome to the grinding phase, where our nibs become liquid. This is where our cocoa nibs, those little pieces of roasted cocoa beans, undergo a transformative process. The nibs, packed with flavors and aromas, are now ready to take the next step in their journey to becoming the delectable treat that we all love, chocolate. Now, you might be wondering, how do these solid pieces turn into a liquid? The answer lies in the art of grinding. The grinding process is not just about crushing the nibs into smaller pieces. No, it's much more than that. It's about releasing the cocoa butter, the natural fat present in the nibs, and allowing it to envelop the tiny particles, transforming the nibs into a smooth liquid mass. Imagine a stone grinder, a bit like an old-fashioned millstone. As it turns, the nibs are drawn in and ground between the stones. The friction generates heat, which in turn melts the cocoa butter present in the nibs. The nibs, initially a coarse mass, gradually become smoother and finer until they eventually transform into a free-flowing liquid we call chocolate liquor. But don't let the name fool you. Despite its name, chocolate liquor doesn't contain a drop of alcohol. It's simply a pure, thick, slightly bitter liquid consisting of about half cocoa butter and half cocoa solids. It's the heart and soul of every chocolate, the base from which all kinds of chocolates are made. The grinding process is truly an art. It requires careful monitoring to ensure that the right temperature is maintained, and the grinding is done just enough to create the perfect texture and consistency, without losing any of the precious flavors and aromas. It's a delicate balance, a dance of sorts between the nibs and the grinder, that brings us one step closer to the final product. So here we are. We've transformed our nibs into chocolate liquor. What's next? Well, let's move on to the next step in our chocolate making journey. The magic of conching awaits. Now we enter the conching stage, where the real magic happens. The art of making chocolate is a symphony of stages, each playing a crucial role in creating the final masterpiece. The stage we're in now, ladies and gentlemen, is the enchanting world of conching. So what's conching? Picture this: a machine with heavy granite rollers, stirring and kneading the chocolate for hours on end. It's a process named after the conch shell because of the original shape of these machines. But it's not just about the shape, it's about the magic it brings to the chocolate. Conching does three major things to our chocolate. First, it smooths it out. The rough, gritty texture of the earlier stages is transformed into the silky, melt-in-your-mouth sensation we all know and love. This is achieved by the continuous grinding and kneading action of the conching machine, breaking down any remaining larger particles. Next, it aerates the chocolate. Imagine taking a deep breath of fresh air. That's what our chocolate is doing during conching. The process allows for the evaporation of any remaining unwanted flavors, replacing them with a full-bodied, rich chocolate aroma. Finally, conching further develops the flavor. The heat generated during this stage allows the chocolate to reach its full flavor potential. It's the same concept as when you're cooking a stew. The longer you let it simmer, the more the flavors meld and intensify. So the next time you savor a piece of smooth, flavorful chocolate, remember the magic of conching. This stage is not just about stirring and kneading. It's about transforming the cocoa into a decadent treat, smoothing its texture, enhancing its aroma, and intensifying its flavor. Our chocolate is now smooth and flavorful, but we're not done yet. We're in the home stretch now with tempering and molding. This is where our chocolate takes on the perfect texture and shine, all while bidding adieu to that gritty feel. Tempering, for the uninitiated, is a sophisticated dance of heating and cooling that chocolate does to strut its best form. Why temper, you ask? Well, tempering is all about crystals. Cocoa butter and chocolate can form 6 different types of crystals, each affecting the chocolate's final appearance and texture. The goal is to encourage the formation of the most stable, or beta crystals. These give chocolate its characteristic snap, glossy finish, and smooth mouthfeel. Here's where the magic happens. The chocolate is gently heated until it melts, banishing any existing crystals. Then it's cooled to invite our favored beta crystals to the party. But wait, we're not done yet. The chocolate is warmed up slightly again to eliminate any less desirable crystals. It's a delicate balance, like a beautifully choreographed ballet, and it's this dance that gives our chocolate its irresistible allure. And now, for the grand finale, molding. This is where our well-tempered chocolate finally gets its shape. The liquid chocolate is poured into molds, be it a classic bar, a fancy truffle, or perhaps a whimsical holiday shape. It's then wrapped on the counter to banish any lurking air bubbles because we want our chocolate to be as smooth as silk, inside and out. Finally, the chocolate is left to cool and harden, either at room temperature or in the fridge. As it cools, the chocolate shrinks, making it easy to pop out of the mold. And voila! The transformation from humble cocoa bean to shiny, snappable chocolate is complete. And there we have it. Our cocoa beans have transformed into a delectable chocolate bar. This is the culmination of a journey that's as magical as the final product itself. It's the perfect blend of science, art, and a whole lot of love. Let's take a moment to reflect on our sweet journey. Our captivating exploration began with the humble cocoa bean, the heart and soul of chocolate. Nestled in vibrant cocoa pods, these beans are the essence of chocolate's unique flavor and delightful allure. We journeyed to the lush rainforests where these cocoa pods are harvested with care, the first step in the long and intricate process of creating chocolate. From the tropical climates where these cocoa beans are born, we moved to the transformation phase. Fermentation and drying, 2 crucial steps that bring out the nuanced flavors that we associate with chocolate. The beans, once dried, are then packaged and shipped worldwide, ready for the next stages of their journey. Our adventure continued with roasting and cracking. It is during the roasting process that the cocoa beans begin to take on that familiar, mouth-watering chocolate aroma. The beans are then cracked open to extract the nibs, the kernel of flavor waiting to be unleashed. As we moved on to the art of grinding, the cocoa nibs transformed into a smooth cocoa mass or cocoa liquor. This is the base from which all chocolate products are made, a thick aromatic paste that carries the rich flavor and texture of chocolate. We then delved into the magic of conching, a process that refines the chocolate, smoothing out any graininess and developing the flavor further. It's an art, a dance of time and temperature that results in the silky texture of chocolate we all adore. Finally, we arrived at the finishing touches, tempering and molding. Tempering gives chocolate its shine and snap, while molding shapes it into the bars and treats we recognize and love. Our journey, from the cocoa pod to the chocolate bar, has been a testament to the craft, care, and creativity involved in making chocolate. Each step, each process adds a layer of complexity and depth to the final product. So next time you bite into a piece of chocolate, you'll know the incredible journey it took to get to you.